Welcome back, and hello if you're new. So, after their 4-year creative absence, it seems that at long last our beer-drinking, beard-stroking, riff-making machine that is Orange Goblin has at long last revamped itself for a brand new release with The Wolf Bites Back. Orange Goblin's brand new album, The Wolf Bites Back, is exactly what you would expect from Orange Goblin. There's no mucking about, this is just balls to the walls riffing. You know, the kind that you'd be driving to or drinking a Newcastle Brown Ale to.
Hey! Ladies! That was fun!
It's a real streamlined record, and they've really kind of trimmed the fat. But one of the things I think I noticed the most is the element of drums. I find it really interesting that drummer Chris Turner has this really great feel to him, and it reminded me a lot of Clutch, and his presence is really felt on the single Sons of Salem, where you can hear those kind of really crashing cymbals that drive the actual riff and the verse along. He's got almost a jazz sort of sensibility when the Sons of Salem solo comes in later on. Which I think speaks volumes about his ability to play and be an actual diverse drummer. However, again, you know, as I mentioned, it sounds very similar to Clutch in that sort of classic southern country style, particularly in Renegade, which is, you know, like a real kind of biker song. But the band then sort of showcased an element of almost sludge on Swords of Fire, which has this massive sort of doomy intro until about 2.5 minutes in, when the band goes sort of into that second gear of theirs where, you know, it brings that groove once more. But of course, it wouldn't be an Orange Goblin album without absolutely huge riffs. And this album has got them in spades. For example, in Sons of Salem, and also The Wolf Bites Back, the title track, praise to you when we attack with fire and a fury. The Wolf Bites Back, and Burn the Ships as well. Overall, the tone of the guitar and bass, it's quite fuzzy, you know, it reminds me of that sort of Fu Manchu kind of really chew on it bass. There's that classic twangy blues guitar on The Stranger, for example. But I found one of the best things on this album are Orange Goblin's dynamics when it comes to songwriting. For example, in Ghosts of the Primitives, there are sections where the guitars drop in and out with various different lead sections added and taken away, but it always remains that sort of, you know, like classic bar music. And the way that everything kind of just moves seamlessly into another is fantastic. I mean, a prime example is The Wolf Bites Back, the title track. It starts off with this acoustic guitar which retains quite a lot of tension from the melody. And then afterwards there's bass which is layered on top. Then there's drums which are added as well, creating even more body. Then the bass becomes almost a little bit more groovy as it introduces the guitar line. And then the guitar line makes way for this massive riff. But then even later on in the song, it's the same riff, but it's these really simple dynamics. For example, where the band play the riff sort of more open. Intense, it's written. And then later on they play the riff as a palm muted that really keeps the tension in the song. Weak, succumb to our disease. But then there's some really cool different elements which arise in the album. For example, there's quite a fast punky track which is Suicide Division. Literally 2 minutes. It's exactly what you would expect, and kind of Orange Goblin do their thing and then they're gone. However, I did really like The Stranger, which I think was quite a surprise.
And midway through, it's got this amazing Stevie Ray Vaughan-esque kind of guitar solo. But then again, there's a small instrumental which kind of recalls Thin Lizzy-esque sort of double lead harmonies in bocca al lupo, which is actually an Italian idiom used to wish the performer at an opera good luck. It wouldn't be Orange Goblin without Ben Ward as well, and his vocals are amazing. You know that bit where he's like, "Rise up!" He can do it better. Rise up, sons of Satan. And it's the coupling of his delivery with the riffs, which just works.
Praise to you when we attack with fire and a fury. The wolf fights back.
And again, there are some amazing solos on this record, but I have to say one of the favourites are the title track, The Wolf Bites Back. In terms of the negatives, the only negative really I would say is there was this weird bit in The Ghost of the Primitive where the band sort of bring a riff back. I thought it sort of worked with the song, but it was quite long-winded, and I think maybe some fans may not be a massive fan of that. In terms of the artwork, I wasn't a massive fan of the whole wolf thing. I thought it was a bit reserved, but then I guess if you listen to the album, it seems on paper that it's quite simple, but actually there's a lot going on behind the scenes. So it's kind of cool, it's a cool representation of that. Orange Goblin's The Wolf Bites Back, it's a Ron Seal album.
It's Ron Seal, quick dry and wood stain. It does exactly what it says on the tin.
So for that reason, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Orange Goblin's brand new album is set for a June 15th release, and you can pick up a copy right underneath me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did, hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure that you check out my Apocalyptic Anniversary series over on Metal Sucks, and I will see you guys next week for another review. Thanks for watching.